Welcome back to Studio Life, everybody. Today we're looking at something suggested in the comments, which can always go one of two ways. Well, I guess they can all go one of two ways, right? That's a crazy thing to say. Anyway, today we're looking at something from IK Multimedia, and it's the Lurssen mastering console. Let's find out. Is it? IK Multimedia. They make some interesting and varied stuff. A lot of cool plugins, a lot of pretty good hardware. They make some good monitors and they make room correction and they make instruments. They make all kinds of stuff, don't they? They're busy. Some of their plugins get some stick online for maybe not being updated as regular as they could be and maybe not being as good as they could be, but some are really great. I know their tape emulations I'm a big fan of. They make some really cool stuff. Obviously, the T-Rax system has been around for a long time. I think in the early days it was seen as maybe a not so good thing, but people have proved it otherwise. There's been some very high-profile stuff done with the T-Rax thing. So, yeah, I think they're to be taken seriously, IK Multimedia. The Lurssen mastering console, obviously made in conjunction with the mastering engineer, or certainly with his input based on his equipment, his studio. Yeah, let's have a look. It's interesting. It's a plug-in. It's also a standalone thing, and they do a version that runs on your iPad or your iPhone. I'm not sure why you should be mastering on your iPhone, but you could, you know, who knows? Stranger things have happened. The standalone version, you kind of drag and drop your song in there and the waveform shows up at the top, and it kind of works the same as the desktop version other than that. They make quite a big deal in the sort of sales bumps that, you know, this is mastered for iTunes, you know, approved and all the rest of it. It's just a bunch of, yeah, it's a simple codec thing. Anyone can really do that. But yeah, you know, worth mentioning, I suppose. The plugin version is the one I was more interested in, and that's the one I tested the most. So you load it up and it looks like, you know, you see the picture of the studio. Then you have to pick a style. So you go into this style window up here and pick a style that most fits what you are trying to master, and it will load up into this window a mastering chain. You can see on this one, which is jazz with more glue, there's a tube EQ, there's a solid state EQ, there's a tube limiter, a solid state de-esser, and a solid state compressor. Now, what we can't do, unfortunately, is click on those, go into the controls and adjust them ourselves. We're not getting that. That's not something you can do. What you can do, anything that's got one of these white little controls on it, you can adjust those. So I can't do anything on the tube limiter, but on the solid state de-esser, I can change the threshold. And then the solid state compressor, I can do the threshold and the makeup gain. That's the only control I've got over that mastering chain as such. But you've then got this bottom section where we've got input drive with a link control. You can set the meters there, and then you've got a bypass in the middle. You've got monitoring between stereo and mono, useful to flip into mono sometimes. You've got a push control at the end, and then you've got this EQ along the bottom. So there's 60 hertz, 120 hertz, 3 kilohertz, 6 kilohertz, and 10 kilohertz. Now you can adjust all these manually, but they will set themselves based on what you choose in your style setting. And then it's quite interesting from there, because if you can push the push control up, all of those EQs will move. It will push everything. And if you pull it back the other way, it will pull them the other way. If you make some changes to those, it will show that you've edited them, and they will move sort of in the amount that they should move, starting where they started and ending up in a relative place, depending on what you do with the push control. So you do have some control. It's just not much. And I would argue that puts it into a certain category. Now, you'll hear the demos at the end. It can do some incredible stuff in adding level, and you do have some control over the EQ and a little bit control over the compression. But mastering, so much of it is about getting the attack and release right and any compression that you're adding. So not being able to change attack and release at all and just hoping that the style, the AI or whatever it is behind this is getting it right, that's a little bit of a worry. I think it means for me that it puts it in the category of, look, if you want a quick master just for listening purposes, this will do. To send band copies out, send a copy to someone to listen to, this will work for that. I don't think in a serious mastering situation you would want it, because there's just not enough control over the compression. Or the EQ, really. I still don't know whether this EQ is overall controlling those EQs. Do you know what I mean? Are they linked? It's hard to tell. There's not much giving that away, what's happening. You'll see from the demos, it does sound all right. It does a pretty good job, but there's a lack of control, which means I don't think any serious mastering engineers are going to use it. But if you're working on your own stuff and you just want something that's going to get the job done, you know, you could use this and then stick an L2 after it. It's not going to be a million miles away. It'll work. But realistically, this puts it in the category of not pro for me. There's just not enough control. Anyway, let's talk about price and demo and all that kind of stuff. IK Multimedia stuff all has a 14-day demo. That's nice. You do have to download the IK Multimedia thing to get it and download it, but that's not too much grief. The price is €99. I think it used to be more expensive. I think it used to be double that. I could be wrong. That's a lot of money for any plugin, €99. Yeah, I think it's a little bit much. I know that sometimes they do crazy sales, and I've even seen rumours that sometimes they give away plugins. So keep an eye on it. If it's something you're interested in, maybe it will go for a lot less. Maybe it's one of those things where if you buy a few plugins, they'll bung it in as part of a bundle. It's worth looking at. Yeah, so as I mentioned, it's a plugin, it's standalone, or it's iPad or iPhone. Works up to 88.296K, so it's professional from that point of view. But yeah, €99. I'm going to go 3 stars. Not shit. Does a pretty good job, but not enough control for me to be a professional tool. Anyway, there you go. The Lurssen Mastering Console. 3 stars. Anyway, if you could like the video, that helps. If you could subscribe to the channel, that helps even more. We're over 12,000 subscribers now. Thanks very much. That was very cool to see. There's 2 Instagram accounts. There's Mixdown Mastering, see what we get up to in here every week. There's also the Audio Firm, find out about our plugins. There's the Studio Life website, where we've got the top 5 plugins and information all about mixing and mastering courses. Anyway, I'll see you next time. Adios, people.
You're calling my phone.